Guys, welcome to this video on variance and standard deviation. So what variance and standard deviation are, they are just measures of spread. So we could formally define it as these values measure the spread of data values we expect to obtain when the experiment is performed many times. So that is that when we do repeated trials, we're expecting the spread of data to fit in the values which we're going to find out. So we've got here, if a discrete random variable x has k possible values, so that is x1, x2, x3 up to xk, with the probabilities matching from p1, p2, p3 up to pk, then the expected value or mean, which is given by this formula here, which we looked at in the last video, is this formula. The variance is given us by VAR, short for variance, of our variable x, which is equal to our funny little symbol here, squared, which is equal to the sum of the value of x, take the mean, squared, multiplied by its probability. Or it could also be given to us like this. But we'll keep using this first formula here. Alright, the standard deviation is equal to the symbol here, which from memory is rho, R-H-O. It's another Greek letter. And it's exactly the same as the one above, except for one difference. So it's still the sum of the values of x. That should have an I on it. Take the mean squared times its corresponding probability, but this whole thing instead is the square root of it. And that's really the only difference between variance and standard deviation, is that it's squared versus square root. Alright, let's take a step back to our magazine store example and we'll calculate the standard deviation of it. So if you can make sure that you have these two formulas written down, I will write down that this is the mean. So make sure you get these two written down and pause the video, get those written down, and then we'll move on. Alright, so I'll write out the data again for our magazine store. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 magazines, if you remember. And the probability of somebody buying each of these magazines was 23%, 38%, 21%, 13%, and 5%. Alright, so how does the standard deviation formula work? Well, I'll write it out to start with. Alright, so where do all the values come to work it out? Well, it's equal to the square root of 1 take, and remember we did find that the mean previously was 2.39, so we're going to have to use that. So 2.39 squared times 0.23 plus Alright, so when we plug all of these values into a calculator and work them out, then our standard deviation is roughly equal to, that's what squiggly ones are for, 1.12. So as we probably remember from our normal distribution, that majority of the data is going to lie between the first three standard deviations. If we take our mean and go one standard deviation either side, that's going to be 68%, or roughly 68% of people will buy a magazine within that range. So, short, sharp, shiny video for this. Hopefully you guys have got some information from it. That's how it all works. I will show you guys how to do this on your calculators in class, because it's a more of a long-winded process than what I can show you in a video. That, and I don't have a proper emulator for the newer calculators. So, thanks for watching. If you've got any comments, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.